Okay, welcome to another segment with Dave and myself, and today we're going to show you how to do chaga, but we're going to do a time warp. We're going to show you how to get it started, and we're going to show you the finished product. The finished product is right here, actually. That's the chaga. This has helped a lot of animals, a lot of pets who've had cancer. It actually saved the cat from dying from cancer. We've been giving it to dogs and cats all over the place, and today we're going to show you how to make it. So we just time warped you. There's the finished product. All right, what you're going to need, and we'll show you what chaga looks like. Chaga looks like an ugly, but ugly looking mushroom on the white birch. That's what it looks like. It looks like a black mass of goo on the tree. So if you need the mushroom, use it, but leave a little bit left on the tree. Do not cut it all off. The tree needs that mushroom for whatever reason it's there, because one of the things these mushrooms do is they bring oxygen to the trees, because the trees are being choked out by chemtrails. So again, don't be greedy, okay, and don't abuse it. If you need it, get it. If you don't, leave it alone. Okay, do not go out killing trees. I like trees. I happen to like trees very much. I like the fact they keep me alive and allow me to breathe. So, do not abuse the trees, okay? Do not abuse what God created on this planet. If you need it, use it. And if you can, replace it. That should be the motto. You take it, put it back. Or put something back. But that's chaga. And the natives help me get this stuff. I got some native friends that go up north and whatever, and we always have a good exchange with ideas and remedies and things, and I really enjoy that thoroughly. I get to have an inside perspective on a culture or a way of doing things that I would not be aware of otherwise, and I'm forever grateful for that. But anyway, they get it for me. They go up way up north and they get it, or they get it some places, sometimes from the U.S. What we're going to do, the way we're going to make it, you do not boil chaga. Do not boil it at all. This is something that should be simmered for a couple days, low heat, to extract it. Once you do, then you filter it, just like I did there. Now, this stuff will come back to life even after you do it. This is how you know you got a good brew going. So one of the ways to slow that down is to add salt to the mix, okay, or alcohol, but salt is a better thing. Now, for those of you, again, who have issues with alcohol, by the time this is done, there is no alcohol left. It's completely evaporated. Again, you're using it as a solvent to get it into it because of the high dense fiber. Now, the wine you use, I don't care. Use any wine you want. I use the wine because of the polyphenol content and because of the other antioxidant contents there. And we have seen this to have tremendous effect with people and animals, especially the animals. So, as you can see, I'm opening up a bottle of Shiraz here, which is one of my favorites. Again, when I drink wine, I drink it with a meal, and I'm not drinking it to get drunk. Generally speaking, when I do drink wine, it's usually rare at home. I usually drink it when I'm on the road, because when I'm on the road, I don't have any clue what I'm eating or what they're putting in my food. So I use wine as a protective measure. Again, do not abuse alcohol. Every culture on the planet has alcohol, and it can be used properly. But like I said, if you have a element to you that is weak by alcohol, do not use it. Okay, in this case, she's working. Okay, set your slow cooker. Okay, pour your bottle of wine in there. Whole bottle. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine. Anyway, that's an old song way back in the day. Back in my time, when, dinosaurs walked the planet. Food was healthy. We didn't have GMOs. Vaccines were...
You would have been out of business.
I know I would be. I could have been doing something else. All right. Put equal parts of wine and water in this. And I'm using distilled water. As I say before, eau distill, as the French say, or distilled water, for those of you who speak English and don't speak French. And we are going to add the chaga. Now, I'm only going to add 2 because that's all you really need. These things are, and again, they've been cleaned and everything by the people there. Throw it in there, and then forget about it for about 3 days, or a week if you want. Okay, this will simmer down to about half. Okay, because it's in such a low heat, it's not going to kill the mushroom. The properties of the mushroom will be there. If you boil it, you kill it. All right, that's everything I've ever researched from the Russians right across Europe and even here. And again, we've given this formula here to pets, tumors and different things, and it has really helped a lot of them. I can't say it's always worked for everybody or everything, but it is a very powerful mushroom. If you look at the chaga itself, it is anti-tumor, anti-inflammatory, anti-HIV-1, anti-influenza A and B viruses, anti-cancer, breast, liver, uterine, and gastric. It kills intestinal worms. It's highly antioxidant properties. It's one of the highest antioxidant mushrooms out there. It has anti-mutagenic properties, anti-hypoxin, and antifungal. Can't go wrong. Again, any mushrooms you collect off of trees, whether they be the reishi mushroom, the turkey tail, the chaga, whatever mushrooms you use, do not kill the tree. Okay, leave a little bit on there. Okay, the tree of life, if you will, is mushrooms will absorb all the life essences of the tree. Whatever's in that tree, the properties of the tree, the mushroom will have it. You don't have to kill a tree. Okay, if it's got a mushroom growing on it, use it. If it's a necessity to use a tree or to kill a tree, then and only then do you do it. And you don't kill the whole tree, just use parts of it. Okay, leave the trees alone. The trees are having enough problems because we have chemtrail fallout on them between the barium, the aluminum, the titanium dioxide, the cadmium, and all these other harmful metals. They are having more than enough stress, so you do not have to go and kill a tree. We need those trees to filter out these contaminants. So don't be stupid. Do not be abusive. Okay, I cannot emphasize it enough. Anyway, that's pretty well it in a nutshell. And then once you get done, again, you'll get a jelly bag like this. Put it on the jar, like we did before, and then filter it through. Okay. Then once you get done that, put it in a dark glass jar. Okay. Clean out your wine bottle that you just used. Recycle. And then add a little salt to it, about a teaspoon of salt. Now if you want to add alcohol to it, you can do that as well. I do both. Now again, for those of you, I'm going to re-emphasize this, the amount of alcohol you're going to put in is a 1-to-3 ratio. That's all. So, you would use that much, you put that much chaga in there, the rest is going to be alcohol. It's a very, very simple way of doing it. Divide the bottle in 3, and that's 1-to-3. Again, a real simple method. Now again, if you do not want to use alcohol, then use more salt, okay, as a preserving agent. Again, no judgments, but however way you want to do it.
So you don't want to. After this is done, you don't want to grind it up and then put it through the jelly bag.
You can if you want.
Okay.
I mean, you can do that if you want. What I do sometimes is I'll go through this. It'll go down about half. I'll strain it, and then I'll put it back in, and I'll put less of the wine and the alcohol, probably about half what I did the first time, and then redo it again, and I'll let it sit for another 4 or 5 days. Sometimes you can get two batches out of one of these things. Sometimes you can't. Again, it all depends on the properties of the mushroom. And I've done that. I've had really good results with it. If you find that your mushroom is growing again, you will. It'll spore out and it'll start to grow in a bottle. I've had that happen. Again, filter it out. Put it back in a pot, reheat it, it's low heat, not high heat. Okay, and then once you've warmed it up a little bit, put it back into another container and salt it. Sometimes if your container has any sugar in it, it will activate the mushroom. Because the mushroom is a fungus and it does feed on sugar. So keep that in mind.
If someone were to be going to get the mushrooms themselves,
yeah.
Say I used to live in Sudbury.
Okay.
Lots of birch trees there.
Right.
I'm sure I could have found the mushrooms had I looked for them. Any sort of special preparation, since you talk about chemtrails and stuff like that, so if that's going to land on it, so do we want to clean them a certain way?
Yeah, you definitely have. Anything you get in nature, doesn't matter where you go, you have to clean it. I mean, I get pine bark, I get 3 different pines. I get the long pine, white pine, the short needle nose pine. Sometimes I get the I can't think of the one pine I get. But anything I get, I wash. I wash in vinegar. I wash in TSB. I take a light brush and brush it over. Rinse it out really good. Anything you're growing in a garden, clean it. Like I stated before, you may see. I went down a park we have in Windsor, and it's right in the middle of the city actually, which is really neat. No traffic. excuse me, and the hawthorn berries, you could see that they had been afflicted with the chemtrails. I mean, they were just beat to hell. Below, the ones that were shielded were fine. You can see the leaves were intact, the hawthorn was good, but the ones up on top looked like something had just corroded them, literally. Where I'm at, the chemtrails are a little bit different than the ones out west. The ones out west, the pine is being afflicted. Here, they're not so much. But here, your maple trees, your chestnut trees, your peaches and apricots, your oaks, especially the oaks are getting it. They're getting pounded pretty bad. So again, wash everything. If you got a garden growing, wash it. Wash it, dry it properly, and store it. Any you're getting outside today, I definitely would tell you to use some kind of stripping agent to clean these things, whether they be a vinegar, whether they be a peroxide, whether they be an iodine, whether they be a light acid like lemon juice, anything. You know, TSP, trisodium phosphate, to again clean up whatever, borax, some light solvent or soap that will clean out the stuff that might be there. Okay, we really have to start looking at what we're eating today and what's on the outside. If you're buying fruit and you're seeing blemishes that look like they're blackish and white or something, that's chemtrail. Okay, that's chemtrail. If you're seeing rustic growth on some of these things, again, that's chemtrail. Peel them off, throw them away. Remember, I said this in other videos, they are using nanoparticles, they're spraying nanoparticles on foods today in the fields, so that when even after 4 washings, they can't get it off. And if you're wanting more information, go on my webpage, look at the script of the show for September 21st, 2013. Click on the 2013 link, and you'll see the information posted there, so you have an idea what I'm talking about. And there's a protocol there for those of you who have more gallons or who are afflicted in some form or fashion on things to do to help you minimize and reduce the overload that's in your body, because you have been afflicted. All right. Is that it?
Yep.
Good?
Yep, we're good.
All right. So to the next segment, to your health.
Do we say how much we're going to use on it?
Hmm?
Do we say how much to use?
Oh, no, we didn't. Okay. Back in?
Yep, just
right.
keep going. Thought we were done.
We jumped ahead of the gun here. All right. When you use this stuff, because it's pure, you don't need as much. Probably anywhere from quarter of a teaspoon to a full teaspoon, depending on what you're giving it for. If you're giving it to an animal, again, I usually give you a bit of a dropper, and I usually would fill about either half or a full teaspoon, depending on the size of the dog. I'll tell you a true story about the cat. The cat had cancer. They went to the vet. The vet said the animal had, at best, 5 months, 6 months to live if they treated it. If they did their treatment, at best, they could only guarantee a 5 or 6 month survival rate. That's it. So they came to see me and says, well, what would you do? I said, well, the cat's going to die. Why put it through the misery? They're not going to help it. They're not going to prolong its life. They're just going to put it through misery. You're afflicted with chemicals and I said, why would you do that? I wouldn't even do it to a human being. So we told them about the chaga. And so they started giving the animal the chaga. We changed the diet, got the animal off of all the canned, bag, and boxed foods, all of it. Got back to eating the eggs and the yogurt and the ground beef and whatever and fish. And the cat would sit there beside the dish and would not eat the food until they put the chaga on it. Nowhere to lie. And they showed me the chart of the animal, and they had a chart of all the chemicals and organs and everything, and it was like all over the place, like this. After 3 months, no word of a lie, every marker was right down the middle except for the creatine levels, which was a little high because of the increased protein. And within 6 months, guess what? The cat no longer had the cancer. They actually made it part of the Cancer Society's mascot in Windsor. Cat did die eventually, but it died of heart failure. It was an older cat. Now, if your animals do have a cancer and you are giving them this stuff, I have to tell you, you have to give them CQ10. The reason why you're giving them the CQ10 is because they are under a lot of stress and duress. They're afraid, they're panicked, they have a lot of anxiety, and it beats the hell out of their heart. So you have to give them the CQ10 in order to fortify their heart so they can endure the healing process. So after they get done with the healing process, they don't die of heart failure. So again, this is something we learned along the way here. So give them the CQ10 with it. Anywhere, again, from 30 milligrams to 100, and just plain CQ10. Don't give them any of this highfalutin ubiquinol and all that crap. Plain CQ10, 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams, again, depending on the dog, or a small dog, 30 milligrams. But make sure they have that in there. Mix it in with the fat. If you're giving your animals meat, and open it up, put it in there. Let them have it. Let them eat it. Okay, it's important that they get it. Do not give your animals any organ meats during this time. As I stated before, organ meats are what the animals in the field filter out poisons. And if you're buying any organs from the grocery store, God only knows what's in the organs. Okay, so leave them alone. Even if you're buying it in the wild, you don't know what the animals are eating in the wild anymore. Whatever chemtrails they're consuming, whatever vegetation matter, they might have some sort of pollutant on it, or a chemical from a pesticide, or a genetic material they might have crossed. So you have no idea. So again, no organ meats. All right. I think we got it right now, didn't we?
That's about right.
For people, the same thing. If you got an issue going on, probably about a teaspoon of that 4 or 5 times a day. I found that the magic number for any kind of therapeutic value to see anything really work is the number 5. So anything above 5 and up. For 3, all you do when you're taking something 3 times a day is you're spinning your wheels and you're sustaining. At 5 is when I start seeing, what I started seeing is where things get targeted and affected. That's been my experience anyway. All right, so the next segment, hopefully we got it right, to your health.